understand why this thing cannot get it together. As far as it's like, oh, you're so okay. Okay. Hello, sexy souls. All right, we're gonna do this. Alrighty, so I inhaled my coffee already, like the potent kind. So, needless to say, all right, so I'm not washed out. Hey, girl, how are you? Okay, because that was very, gosh, I was like, it wasn't doing anything. Okay, how are you all? How are you doing? So I'm trying something else, Manishka. I've got, instead in the chat, it's only subscribers. So that one might cut down on people who just want to be ding dongs, passing through. But if they're going to be a ding dong, they have to at least give me some kind of a benefit and a boost to my channel by subscribing. So, because really, if you're not willing to subscribe, then, you're not a part of the conversation. Anywho's. Hey, Curdy, how are you? We've got to set up something. I'm going to send you you and Manishka something on Instagram so we can set up a Zoom, just so that you're aware. Anywho. All right, so when I was tapping into the energy, let me actually get the frickin' another candle because I feel like this one's not going to last the whole time. And of course. So I know I've been off for a couple of days. We've just been adjusting and everything. My mom made it down. And so today's like the first day really settled in to be able to get on here. So anywho, alrighty. So the way that I was feeling, you know how like on a spring morning, wherever you're at, doesn't matter. You know what spring feels like when you're getting from the cold, going to the warm, and like there's like a crisp, cool morning. But it's not like cold, it's not freezing. It's just like the air feels refreshing and you step out into it and you're like, like that. Like it's not overly hot. You're not baking like you're in some kind of a sauna. You know, that fresh feeling, right? And so it felt, so it had this clean, clear, fresh feeling to it. And then it was like, now what? It was almost as if that doorway that we were talking about, that some of y'all may not have noticed or realized that you've walked through it. Like there's some kind of, like I'm trying to feel in to see if it's like the parting of the seas and stuff, but there's some kind of energetic doorway, some type of, how do I put this? I don't want to say energetic doorway. It's like some type of barrier or resistance that you had to walk through to see the clear path ahead of you now. And you walked through that. You did it. And so it's like, it feels clean, clear, like it's behind you now, like whatever that was is behind you. And so you're just like, now what? Almost like we were talking about like the little steps taking and things like that. So I know I might look like death right now, okay? Because obviously I woke up and didn't do jack squat. You can't even tell I have eyelashes. Whatever, I don't care. And like I said, I already did my coffee. So go get your coffee, get your tea, your matcha, your wine, whatever it is that, because you obviously, depending on the time of day, depends on your drink of choice. But God knows I do not need another coffee because I went full throttle with the coffee this morning, like the full on, powerfully caffeinated, not half calf. So it's a no on grabbing anymore. And it's water with lemon and ginger. So I apologize that I did not save the coffee for you all. Okay. So it's a now what energy. It's like now that I've stepped through, and I'm loving it because like the I don't know why I'm having issues with this, but the energy of like it's so bright and beautiful outside today, and it has been for the last couple of days. So it's feeling like energized. And whatever doorway you stepped through, there's a lot of resistance to it before. But for whatever reason, you kind of stepped through it unknowingly, but knowingly. Like if you're aware of it, you're like, why was that even necessary? I feel like you'd be like you're not going to give it the credence that it would deserve. So to you, it's just kind of like you, but you can sense it and feel it is what it feels like you know, and you know that it was one, and it's irritating. Like I think you were resistant to it before because it was like, why do I have to do that though? That's so stupid. Like why is that, and why is that a barrier? Why is that an issue? Why is that a, that kind of thing? And why is that even important? Like you couldn't see the importance of it. And you think like they're giving me the word frivolous. Like you think it was so frivolous to like, are you serious? Like that is literally like, it's funny because Spirit's like, if it wasn't hardly nothing, then why didn't you walk through it earlier? And I'm getting back to these are the people who've been fighting Spirit just because you're like, I'm sick and tired of, I get this teenage energy. Like, I'm so sick and tired of you trying to dictate every little one of my moves. Like, that is not necessarily, I don't have to do that in order to be able to do this. Like, that is just so whatever. And the parent's like, well, you have to do this. If it's not such a big deal, why aren't you doing it? I swear to you, that's what it feels like. But for whatever reason, you've walked through it. And again, like a teenager, I feel like if you're aware that you did this, you probably still look at Spirit and like, that was so stupid. There was no need for that. Like whatever you were trying to achieve, there was no fucking need for it. And why would it's kind of like being told, this is what my teenager tells me, right? He may pick something up or he may have to clean a room. And he's like, well, all of this isn't mine. Why do I have to do it? And it's like, because we do things together. So maybe there was something that you had to walk through, an energy or a door you had to walk through that really maybe didn't do all that much for you other than, and it really was for the purpose of someone or something else. But in doing so, a barrier is removed or like a resistance. So if there is a situation in your life where it was like, I didn't necessarily get anything out of it other than by doing this, I removed this as a barrier. And you may have been like, you know what I mean? Like, so it didn't really do anything for you. Like you're not looking around going, oh my gosh. Like you don't see anything tangible as a result. You didn't have this great massive epiphany. It literally just eliminated a barrier for you. We ain't even pulling cards and I'm still like, I'm already reading. And so it's whatever this circumstance or situation was, it just created resistance, energetic resistance in your life or in your environment. And so you just did. And so it's like, like a teenager is, as a mom, I would be like, do you walk through this room? Do your shoes drop dirt at the door? Do you, drop crumbs as you're eating, walking across, like, you added to this, even if you can't tell, it's this community energy of like, at some point someone's going to do the same for you where it doesn't benefit them, right? It's not something directly related to them. They didn't cause the issue. So why do they got to be the one? And it's like, because you are the best one for this position. You are you are best positioned for this. And whether you recognize it or not, you do benefit from it. Because when my child has a clean room, right? There's plenty of times I clean up his dirty dishes. I didn't eat them. There's plenty of times I have to cook him his food and he has special dietary needs and I don't get to be the one to eat it. So why am I doing it? You see what I'm saying? It's that energy of. So it's like this petulant teenage energy that you were going through of resistance of. It's almost like being called on to help a situation or add to a situation that you really didn't want to have to do, but you were the best one for the job. And so it's like, even after he's done, he's like, oh, I still don't understand why I had to clean it. Because to him, it didn't look terrible. It wasn't like god awful. We didn't have like gunk growing on the walls or anything. So why do I got to do this? Why is it important for me to vacuum every week? And why is it important for me to mop the floors? And because if you don't, it's like that resistance or that yuck in the room eventually will start showing, and eventually be so difficult it'll be very hard to remove. So it's like the longer you wait, the worse things get. So whatever in this situation, the longer you waited, the more the resistance grew. The more the resistance and the energy that you have to walk. Like if you're trying to walk through a room, we've all been there where we walk into a room and the energy's off. It's terrible. And sometimes just getting through it feels like you're walking through mud. It's like, ugh, like you're just you know what I mean? And so what I get from this is that you've done it, whatever it is that you are best aligned to do. And previous, like before and after, you're both like, this was stupid. I don't even understand why that was something that I had to do. Like you could have just taken care of that. Like, why did that create resistance in my life? Why didn't you just eliminate spirit? Why did I have to go through that? Because much like a teenager, we're learning how to, that's when they're learning who they are, how to set their boundaries, where their boundaries exist. And it's like to have spirit challenge you when you're in this energy of, I said no, respect that. And spirit's like, we're still going to ask you to do this, right? My child, my teenager, my 13-year-old specifically, sometimes my 19-year-old will be like, but why? And I was like, because. And it's later down the road in their life that they recognize that we don't operate in a silo, that we help one another, and that we all benefit from one another. And so that they go, oh, okay, it was my job to contribute, right? And so this is like spirit going, it's your job to contribute, because at some point, someone's going to do the same for you. And they could pull the same stunt. Why? Why do I got to be the one to whatever? And it's like, we are all here to help and assist one another in one form or another, even when we don't recognize or understand how it's helping and why. And so it's just a friendly reminder that, and you did benefit to a certain degree, and you will, even if it's not immediate. And so it's one of those things where it's like but I'm getting the sense that something is cleared in the air, and so you are able to kind of walk freely. That resistance that was there isn't present at this point. And so that matters, and you do benefit from it. Same as like when we keep a clean house, he benefits from it, because when it's cluttered, the energy gets chaotic and it feels, and then you can't find things, and then he's tripping over stuff, and it's, you know what I mean? And something about the clean room and the energy flow of it, but like you do benefit from it, even if you're not recognizing it, because you can't make a direct connection just at this moment. So you've walked through this, okay, and you're like on the other side, and it does, just like with cleaning the living room or cleaning a communal area, it's like it feels fresh and clean and like light, and so you feel good. And it's almost like, okay, well, now what? You know what I mean? Like, and that's where you're at. I don't know. I have many that are not currently visible. That's for Curdy. She said, can you share? And so some of them I intentionally did, because if I get pushed or pulled to remove a video, then I'm going to do that. And there was also some that I did where there were live videos and like too much personal information was shared. And so I turned that off. And so like it's on my channel, it's just not viewable by people. And so I wouldn't even know which video you were talking about needs to be shared, because there's a lot that are not. So, and if there's something on it for other people's readings that I feel, like probably shouldn't be, because you got people who pry eyes, who watch people. You know what I'm saying? And I think Peter can attest to that. Like when your moves are visible on the internet and you're receiving, like people don't want certain information shared with you, or energies don't want certain information shared with people. And so it's like we keep that hidden so that, yeah. So, but offhand, I'm like, gosh, I've got like probably 30 videos that are not visible. So I'm not really sure which one you're wanting. Sorry, Gertie. Where's the link at? Is it in this chat right now? Or is it on a different video? Sorry. I'll try to look for it because I can look at my comments. I can look at my comments. I can pull it up like under YouTube Studio and I can try and find that. But I'll have to check and see because if it is it one where I did personal readings, like actual one-on-one readings live? Is it one of those? Is it one of those? But is it one where I did live readings? Because if it's something where I had to hide it for the sake of somebody else's reading, then I won't be able to make it public again. Okay. I may or may not be able to make it public again. I'm just going to be honest with you, just because of, like I said, if there's something in someone else's live, and I've talked to several people on here about like if I give certain information, other people don't need to know it. And there are people that have reached out to me and people are sending them bad juju, watching their every move, that kind of thing. There was one person who had she felt like she was being stalked and things like that. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I won't make it public then. So I'll just have to check it out. I'll have to check it out. And you see me over your struck because I don't really know which one it is, and I can check it out. And if it's okay, if it's an okay one, then yeah. But also, usually I had a reason for making them private. I don't know. I'll look. I'll see. I'll double check myself on that though. Okay, guys. So let's get back into this clean, clear, and free energy. And the now what, Spirit? Now what? This is Madame Doris. I just went straight for it. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Kelsey. How are you? Hey, David. So I'm being brought to this green crystal. I'm pulling it out. I don't know why. It's staring at me. Got revelry and indulgence. So what they're saying, because this didn't feel right. Like it was like I felt like it was trying to poke out a little bit before, and then it came and it flew over here. And to me, it feels like someone feeling conflicted. Okay, we got reckless actions lead to conflict, and then revelry and indulgence. And this feels a little bit like this is what needs to be the focus. This is what does not. Does that make sense? Okay, let me rephrase. Somebody is needing to indulge in something, but their ego or their mind is trying to contradict and say, oh, like that's kind of reckless. Don't do that. It might lead to bad things, blah, blah, blah. And so, and that they're like tossing this to the side. They're like, you need to toss that to the side is what it feels like. Like that's not even accurate. This is what Spirit wants you to focus on: revelry and indulgence, reveling in something, reveling in the accomplishment that you've had, or in the progress that you've made, indulging in the good feelings. Like when you revel in something, you're really allowing yourself to savor it, is what it feels like. You savor it, you get to truly experience it, you feel the energy of it to its fullest. And so there's something about like allowing yourself to go there, and that's what spirit wants you to do. However, this is a little bit more like, but you may be like, oh no, that's kind of reckless. Oh, something bad could happen because of it. So that's like, that would be that little part of your brain that's like, but what about this? And what about this? And da, 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 da. It's like talking yourself out of it a little bit. And spirit's like, toss that shit to the side. That's the way it feels. Now what? Oh, what is this one? Okay. Someone's holding back from allowing something to happen because of their mental gymnastics that they're doing. The what ifs, the worry, the fear, the attempt to protect yourself. And they're saying that in doing so, this idea that reckless actions will lead to something bad. Like if I do that, then this. And they're like, that's a barrier that keeps you from your goal. And that true feelings are masked. That what you like, that whole thing of talking yourself out of something, or is really you masking your true feelings. True feelings are masked. It's not acknowledging what you really truly want to do, how you want to experience it. And that in and of itself, not acknowledging what you really want to do, and that it's almost like saying you're talking yourself out of something and not admitting that you really do want to do this. You want to enjoy something. You want to go there. You want to like allow it. But your ego is saying, but, and again, throwing shit at the wall, trying to see what sticks, in an attempt to protect yourself, thinking of worst case scenarios. And so you're not acting on something, you're not going for something, not allowing something, because you're worried it's going to create some kind of whatever. And they're like, but you really do want to do this. And in parading around and pretending like, and it's almost like this over analysis, you're convincing yourself you don't really want to do something, when they're like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And not acknowledging that and masking those feelings and masking what you truly desire and want, for the rational reason, is actually keeping you from your goal. And they're just wanting you to know that there's going to be triumph over adversity. Right? New era elements. Well, we're just going to keep shuffling, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting from the reckless actions lead to conflict that you're trying to tell yourself, no, I need to think through this. That's going to be too quick. Whereas the impulse inside of you, the intuitive nudge and hit is, yes, it's a fuck yes for somebody, and somebody is like, oh well, but no, think through it. Let's hold on. Let's da da da. And so in that analysis, because we've got here, they talk about Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo, which is all the fire signs. Some people will liken it to impulsivity, and maybe that's what you're assuming. You're like, oh, that felt too good too quickly. No, I need to hold back. And so you're thinking you're being impulsive and you need to really whatever. And they're like, don't do that. You're shutting down your own intuitive knowing and understanding and draw to something, a desire for something, right? And that's where the mask comes from. You're masking your true feelings. And that's just keeping you from your goal. Like sometimes something comes through and we're meant to act fast on it because we know immediately that it's right for us. Okay, so again, the question is now what? So this you've been in some type of like, we got the Truce card, which is the Four of Swords in this particular deck, which can be about like a step back, like a limited break. Like a recalibration, a checking in with oneself kind of a thing. But it's temporary. It's very limited. It's just a, it's like a stepping out of the stress is what it feels like to me. Mixed with the Two of Wands, change, action towards change. So I feel like this is saying two things. One, there's a change that's about to happen, but you're going to change from this meditative break that you've had in life, this lull, this inaction. That's what I want to say. You're going from inaction to action. And the impulsive part that feels like, oh, is this too quick, or maybe I'm acting too quickly on something, is because it creates a tower moment in your life. It can feel like a very sudden change, but always with a tower, it's like a fated one, like a destined one. Like sometimes when I'm thinking of like the devil card or the the death card, and it's like that whole like something burns to ashes and the phoenix rises. I always imagine the tower being the thing that creates that, right? Where something ends. So I feel like the energy is very meshed in this. So I don't get the sense of drama in the need to panic or like it creates unhappy chaos within your life. It's like walking through a door, and now that door is shut, it is that this is ending. Something that you existed in, some type of energy, the way that you perceived and reviewed or looked at things. It could just be strictly like you're going from inaction to action, right? And so in that, it makes it feel very impulsive. It feels like, hold on, I need to wait a minute. Like, am I doing this right? Oh, is this reckless of me? And they're like, no. It just feels that way because of this. Hold on, we're gonna. Oh, baby. Okay. It's just a massive trajectory change. There's been a comfort in not in this, the whole idea of waiting to go after something. There's a comfort in that, right? Um, uh, this can, the Four Swords can be a check-in with yourself, but it can, I just feel interfering energy, so I'm gonna light this and let it. Give me just a few seconds. Come on, what is wrong with you? Curious. Okay. I don't know why I feel like I'm prying energy, so we're gonna let this burn while I do this. We have the Four of Cups over here. And remember, in like the traditional Rider-Waite, you've got the person looking at the three cups. Like maybe at one point it was beneficial, it was something that you liked, but you're staring at it going, I've tried these, I've tried these, I've tried these. These are not it. These are not it. But you're also not quite ready to take the cup that comes out of the sky. You're almost slightly ignoring it, right? And I feel like that's what this is. It's the revelry and indulgence. Spirit's like, take action, go after this. This is meant for you. And you're holding back because you're like, no, it's a little impulsive. That, how do I know? You know, that kind of thing. And so that's what the Four of Cups is representing. It's that resistance. Because what's about to happen is this tower moment in your life, when you take this action, it creates a completely different new foundation. It is a pivot point. It is almost as if this, okay, thank you, Spirit. This is a sense where it's like the start of a whole new life for you. So let me give you an example. A person who graduates from, I know in different countries you call it something different. We call it high school. We call it like primary school. It's like, it's not a higher level of education. But once you hit that point, or when you turn 18 in my country, it's like you go from being a child to a quote unquote adult. You're given adult responsibilities, adult expectations. It's like from one day to the next, you may not be able to see. Remember, we're saying that we walk through some kind of a doorway, but you don't necessarily, it feels like, and you can be excited about it. Kids around here and in my country, they get real excited about that. Like, I'm an adult now. And it's like, they don't realize that literally a tower moment just happened in their life. Like life as you know it changes completely. Period. Whether you wanted it to or not, it was fated. It was going to happen. This was meant to happen. And you go from this energy of not being able to take the action that you wanted to, almost like being put on a pause. I would say the Four of Swords is like a pause, to taking very specific directed action towards something that you desire. That's what the Two of Wands is. And so over here, it is also the energy of so this is like a new foundation. It's like a whole new life. Whether you like it or not, like life is just not going to be the same after this, period, point blank. There's some people who will talk about this, like where they feel like they've lived, so much has been compacted and crammed into experience-wise and evolution-wise into their life, that they feel like they lived either 2 to 3 separate lives within their own lifetime. Like my life between this age and this age was nothing like it was between this age and this age. And then now suddenly between this age and this age, it's like, it was something I could have never imagined. It's like I'm in a different world almost. They bring me back to the idea of, remember when I talked to you all about the trip to Italy and how like what felt like a whole new world and a whole new life, and the way that I want to live was somebody else's every day. Riding the train, watching the ocean on the side. Like it, to me, that's not been my reality, but that's been somebody's reality, right? And so for them, it wouldn't necessarily be that. This is they're saying that there's something about an action towards allowing yourself. There's an allowing yourself to move forward in something it has to be something that's going to be presented to yourself, presented to you, to yourself, or something that Spirit's been holding the cup for quite some time. Like whatever this door, like this is it. So In the Four of Cups, Spirit's been holding, that cup that comes out of the cloud, has been holding this cup for quite some time. But in order to get that, the resistance, okay, you didn't want to do what you had to do. Like the petulant teenager that was there, you're like, why do I gotta go through that doorway? Why is it gotta be like there's no need, you can just hand me the freaking cup. Like, is it, and so you were resistant. You weren't going to be doing the shit that was right in front of you, and he wasn't taking that because you're like, no, what's being required of me, blah 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 blah. And it's almost like, and for a while you may not have understood what was being required of you, and then when you kind of got an understanding, you're like, oh hell no, that can't be. That's again, like a fucking teenager, right? And Spirit's like, it isn't just about you. It isn't just about you. And so, and in doing so, you assumed or took the trajectory that you somehow, if you do this, it's like, why do I have to be the one, the example I gave with my son? Why do I have to be the one to do that? Why do I have to be the one to why do I got to be this to do this for this other person when it was all them, they kind of thing, right? Because that's what he gets. He's like, I didn't make that mess. You ain't gonna tell me that a part of it wasn't your mess. Acting like you don't live in this house and create and put dirt everywhere. Come on. Does your skin shed? Okay, then you've contributed to the dust in this house. Shut up. But he will argue with me to the point of no return for no reason, knowing damn good and well if he had just gotten done with it and just did the shit, then he'd be off doing what the fuck it is that he wanted. Ooh, isn't that just lovely? When Spirit's like, if you had just done the shit earlier and sooner, instead of being the petulant teenage child in this situation, you'd have gotten to this, whatever it is, sooner. But you sat between the two, not wanting to do what was right in front of you and not wanting to do what you needed to do to get that fourth cup. Got it. Okay. Okay, how does that play into the revelry and into, because now you can. Now that you took the action, you put yourself on pause. You were like, hold the fuck up. No. You put shit on pause. Like, I ain't doing that. Four of Cups energy, right? I ain't doing that. I'm going to put this over here with this. I know it plays into this a little bit, but so you don't want to put the pause button on. Don't you love it when we get called out like this? And now that you took the action for the change, Two of Wands, the Tower moment can happen. Oh, Lordy. You may think that whatever happened was insignificant and that the resistant energy shouldn't have been able to be there to begin with, but it was. And somehow you were the best person to address this resistant energy, but you didn't want to fucking do it. You didn't want to be involved with that situation. And it's almost as if you dug your heels in just so you could be right like a teenager. Oh, okay. We all hit varying stages of healing in our process and the embodiment process, right? Learning how to be who we truly are. We all go through the teenage phase. I don't care what your actual age is. You went through the teenage phase with Spirit, okay? And so because you took the action, you can now revel in. So why is this situation is it going to come in so fast because you're so used to it having been waiting? You're like, okay, now I did it. And it happened so quickly. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is that about? Okay, let me see here. Let's take a look. Like what? Do you feel like you need to inspect the cup that Spirit's been holding and waiting for you to come? It is kind of like that old reading that I did where it's like something happens. It's the same energy. I know there's a lot to that reading that doesn't seem to play out here, but some energy, like the seas have been parted. It kind of is. It's kind of like that a little bit. And for whatever reason, why is there resistance now that you've walked through the story? You just said, now what? You feel clean, clear, and free. And it's like there's some type of now you get to enjoy this, but you're worried about there being reckless. You're like, now you're free to take the action necessary or to do or go after the thing that you desire, right? Because like what spirit's bringing in and has been holding as like something that you've been wanting, and like you refuse to take the cup because it required you to do something, and you're like, no, and it's like now that resistance is out, and spirit's like, here you go, and you're like, let me see this fucking cup before I ain't sipping nothing. Why are you inspecting it? You wanted it so bad before. Like, do you think it's a trick? You think it's laced with something? You think that whatever you went through, whatever you had to do is so, I can't help this. I hear like a teenage voice going, that is so stupid. Like you feel like whatever you had to do is so stupid. Whatever energetic doorway or gateway you had to walk through is so stupid that you're questioning this cup now. Like there's no way you're going to give me this after just that. So now you're questioning the cup. You're like, this probably ain't in the real shit. Okay. And that, so this may still be like a residual petulance, like a petulant child. Like, you know, it's like just this residual energy of that teenage energy, that kind of thing, because they're like, that's going to keep you from your goal. Ding dong. Okay. This is the triumph that you've been wanting. This is the new life. Like from this point forward, it's like whatever you look back on, if you take this cup, if you go for this cup, if you indulge in this cup that's being offered to you, it's like everything that you've been through, all that adversity is going to feel like an old life. Like it's not even your life. You're going to get to a point where you're living and existing in this new phase that you're like, I can't even believe I had to deal with that before. And to the level that I did, it feels like, you know, like when you think back on it, it's going to feel a little bit like remembering a bad dream. I can't even believe I ever lived like that or endured that or whatever it is. Okay, so over here we've got the Victory card, the Lover's card, and the Knight of Pentacles. This is straight up taking, this is why the cup was there. Because like you're questioning the cup now. Like maybe that cup wasn't as good. Because if you withheld that from me for this, again, I feel like whatever you feel like you had to endure, go through, address, I don't know what it is, but you're like, that was so stupid. I should not have had to do that. Why did Spirit let that be a barrier for me? That is just so dumb. I cannot get away from that teenage energy. I hear my son in my head. And so it's like, because this is the way it came out. The Four of Cups was between the Choice card, the Lover's card, and the Knight of Pentacles. And so they're like, you're like, you're wanting to think like, no, there's no way. Again, reckless actions lead to, you feel like, okay, going like, it was kept from me for so long. If I do this now, or if I go for this now, or if I accept this cup now, what's going to happen? Because there's no way what I did was, and it's like, you really do want that though. Whatever it is that's on that horizon, that other option that's so much better than the things that have been in front of you all this time. You really do actually want it. Is it your teenage ego that's like, like you're just pissed that Spirit made you walk through that? You're just pissed that you had to do that? Or are you legitimately going, okay, now wait, what? I don't know if I trust this. Because if I had to do that for like, maybe this isn't exactly what I want. Maybe this isn't, now you feel like it may not be a good idea to take that cup. Because how is that related to that? Like, I don't understand Spirit. How is that related to that? Why was that allowed to occur? And it's almost as if they're saying so much fucking victory. Like whatever you've done and walked through, this clear thing, like that's a massive victory. And you're like this next phase is going to be very, triumphant. Like you're really going to have a lot of success. And there's this, and you all the more had to choose it because if you notice in this scenario, you also had the option to not choose to walk through that energetic doorway. It's like, I see like, okay, like imagine a teenager and their parent is like, what you want, your present is on the other side of this door, like in a particular room in the house. And they're looking at you like, what do you got planned? What is up your sleeve? Like, why do I have to walk through this door? So they don't trust the door. They don't trust any of it. And they're like, just bring it to me. Quit being stupid. Like, why do we got to do all this? So there's a resistance to it, right? But that resistance really kept and it's almost as if like if they had just opened the door, like they didn't want to address the resistance that was there. That door was like a block for them to see what it is that their parent had for them. And so, but they're also not trusting, and they're a little bit like, and so they're going to throw a fit. Like, this is just stupid. Just bring me the thing. Da, 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 da. On the other side of the door is what they've been asking for the last 2 years. And the only reason it is on the other side of this door is because the parent had to set it up and everything else like that. It's you know what I mean? Like it makes the reveal all that more, you know what I'm saying? Now you've been asking for this and you've been thinking, and like maybe their parent was like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z in school, I'll get it for you, and that kind of stuff. And so it's like a goal that they've always really wanted, and maybe they're whatever it is, like let's say the goal, the doorway is getting good grades, or maybe the doorway is a real doorway and they're just looking at it like, this is so stupid, why do I gotta do that, why can't I just have it? Teenagers say that shit all the time. If you've ever encountered one, or if you've ever been one, and suddenly, and I know I keep rehashing it, but they keep wanting to re-talk about this energy of it. Like, it's like, okay, I get it, spirit, I didn't want something. And I know this plays a major factor into what we're trying to explain to you, because you're in this energy now where you're like just like the door, you're like, I don't want to open it, because now you're wondering why you had to go through that door. Why is the door shut anyways, Mom? You never keep this door shut. Like, what the fuck is going on? So now you're questioning shit. You don't understand shit. You don't want to go through it. You don't want to. And so then you're going to dig your heels. And it's like, literally, if you had just walked the damn door 2 hours ago, because you're throwing a fit for no reason, right? Whatever this is, you open the door and you're like, oh, and you notice that there's a brand new TV, PlayStation, gaming chair, all kinds of stuff. And you was hung up on the door. Or you were hung up on the fact that you had to have good grades. Knowing damn good and well it would be very easy for you to do, because you always get good grades anyways. You always get like all A's and 1 B. This is what we have in our country. And it's like the all A honor roll is like, you know what I mean? It's within your purview to be able to do it. But because somebody had the audacity to say, would you please do this in order to get this? You're like, what the fuck? Why? Aren't I good enough already as it is? Just because I have 1 B? Like, isn't that, you see what I'm saying? You see that energy? And so if you're in a position where you're like, but I don't get the sense that it's almost the thing where it's literally like you've been reassured everything's good. You go through that door. Like, there's this sense of questioning. I don't know. You're questioning this. Like, you are at that stage of questioning, even though you're on the other side. Now you're like, now what? They're like, go for it, whatever this is. And you're having to be reassured that this is a very legitimate opportunity, very tangible, material trajectory and path. Knight of Pentacles, I tell you all the time, is all about integrity. There's nothing fake about this situation. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing like, this is a real option, opportunity, chance for something to be in its pentacles. So it's like it's grounded into your world. This isn't an airy fairy idea. It's reality. Again, much like walking through the door, maybe it was like you're like, why did you build it up so much? And you're looking at the PlayStation like, I don't know. Are you looking at it like there's a catch now? You know, it's like, why aren't you rushing over to the PlayStation, getting onto it and playing games and like, yes, and like just enjoying yourself? You walk through the door and you're like, why did you do all of that just to show me this? And it's like, could you imagine? And I've seen this happen where people, like kids are like, I don't trust you. And like, why did you make it? And why is the camera? Why are you videoing this? Okay. Okay, so this is where we're at. You are not trusting this scenario. You want to indulge in it, but you are seeing this as like, what's the catch? And in doing so, you're holding back. And even though you're on this other side, it's like the gate barrier really isn't there. The only barrier is you. And they're like, no, this is your triumph after adversity. Okay, so that's the energy of what you're going through. But now I want to go into a little bit more in depth of like, what is it that, like, let's talk about what you get to indulge in and enjoy and feel revelry towards. Because if you're feeling like, oh, it's going too fast now, all of a sudden, after all of this, like, you wanted this brand new life. Why are you not jumping at it? It's okay. They're giving me another scenario. It's the child that says, I can't wait to turn 18 so I can move out and be on my own and not have to da. And they suddenly turn 18 and now they get to do what they want to do and they don't because they're scared. It's like, this is the new phase you wanted. Why are you suddenly like worried that you're going to make a wrong move? We just discussed why. And you're like, you're afraid that something's going to catch you off guard, that you're going to make the wrong move, take the wrong action, you're going to be too impulsive. It's like, can I really do this? Or is this too much? Is it too... Let's talk about what they're asking you to like indulge in. Because it feels like this is a real world 3D in your life environment, touch, taste, see, feel kind of circumstance. It's no longer just something that's an ideal. It gets presented to you, right? Like there for a while when the cup was on the other side of the door, it felt like it was more of like so it's like, you can have this if you walk through this. You didn't have a guarantee though that the cup was really there. Maybe that's why you're questioning when you grab the cup, you're like, you know what I'm saying? Because it had to be, it was like an idea, a notion, a goal. It wasn't tangible in your life yet. There was no guarantee that it was on the other side of the door, much like a teenager not wanting to open the door to see their surprise. You know what I mean? And so it comes in and you're like, it's like questioning if it's real. Okay, let's talk about the revelry indulgence. Let's clarify this just a little bit. So they wanted me to like throw it over there again like it was. Like the reckless actions lead to conflict. They're like, no, don't worry about that shit. That's the least of your worries. Don't even fucking worry about it. Okay. So because I was like, should I use this deck for this card to clarify and this card for the, and they're like, don't even give this. It's like, because it's not reckless. It's not too fast. It's not impulsive. So then, okay. I feel like I want to pair up the Knight of Pentacles with the revelry and indulgence. So let's talk about this. Y'all know I stay on here for fucking ever. Funny thing, and we'll talk about this here in just a second. We've got the Knight of Pentacles again. Remember I said I feel like the Knight of Pentacles goes with the indulgence, the revelry. Then we have the Eight of Water, which is the Eight of Cups. And then we have Temperance, balance, right? The way that they're showing it is something very specific, integral, something you can move forward with, okay, we're going to go here. You can move forward without any resistance, the Chariot card. This is like everything aligning and being of mind and heart and being able to go towards something, right? When you feel like you're being split towards two different things. This is all about momentum, follow through, drive is what I want to say. Birds, y'all know birds always mean something. In this, it says that there's an important achievement and some sort of public recognition. Like, I feel like this Knight of Earth is the important achievement. And it's going to allow you to move on. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups means you walk away and you move on to your Nine of Cups. Because balance is back in your life. There's no longer resistance. Okay, they're not giving me specifics. Give me just a second. Least you can do is explain or describe or help us understand what this Eight of Cups, you move from the 8 to the 9 because you're in search of your desire, your true personal contentment. But it also talks about finding something more meaningful to you. Okay. So literally the revelry indulgence is the level of material gain and independence that you are manifesting, that you've created and brought in. It's like whatever resistance there was to this becoming a reality for you, Knight of Pentacles, we've got the Magician and the Nine of Pentacles. There's no more resistance to creating financial stability for yourself. It's like bringing the etheric into your reality. Funny, the Devil card in here is called the Lord of the Gates of Matter, the barrier. The barrier is the Devil card. It is that feeling like you're chained to something that you're really not. It is falling for the false ego projection, right? This weariness or this unsure, like you've come through the store. You feel clear, clean, and free, and then you're like, now what? And they're like, what do you mean now what? Fucking charge forward like the Chariot. What are you talking about? Now what? The now what is almost your like you didn't just experience being freed from something, and you're like, now what? And like, what do you mean now what? As like the child going through and seeing this whole setup and get up, they played all that game beforehand, not wanting to walk through the door. They walk through the door and they're like, okay. And they look at their parent like, is that for me? Or is this real? Like, what is this? Like, what do you mean? You've been asking for this shit for 9 months. What are you fucking talking about? Like, what is this reaction that you're having, is what I want to say. And they're like, quit, take action, 2 of Wands, go for it. So whatever, which I think is, there's a desire for this level of freedom and independence, but financial stability as well. And that's what they're talking about. And you may have been making attempts or wanting to bring this into your reality, and there's been some level of resistance, some energetic block. And they're like, guess what? That's been taken care of. You can actually do this. Funny thing is, you almost like, okay, but why does it feel like you think it's reckless? What makes this feel reckless? I have to bring this back. I got to understand. Like, I understand the energy they just told us, but like in reality, if you recognize and know and understand, why are you questioning this? Like, why do you believe? Why are you asking if this is real? If this can really happen? Like, didn't you just have all this time sitting there to try and because if it's a cup, it's something coming in. Knight of Pentacles, a cup, 4 of Cups, which is a cup coming through. It's like, that's your abundance. That's your key. That's your, hey, there's another option. That's being led by spirit. That's answering some type of a call or something. I'm feeling a disconnect. Like the kid who has been asking for something for so long and finally gets it, and they look at it in disbelief, and it's like, it may feel slightly overwhelming because we have the 7 of Pentacles here, which means you had to wait for so long. Now that things start to pop up, you're in disbelief. There's a sense of disbelief associated with this. Might be why you're examining the cup. There's a sense of disbelief. Because at the bottom it says, Lord of Success Unfulfilled. You thought it wasn't going to happen. Even though you've been trying to manifest this. It's a fucking brand new beginning of what? We're getting details. I feel details. Like normally, it can vary. I don't know where that came from. Vary from person to person. And so there's a reason to stay. But I'm feeling something specific. I feel something specific. And it's like, okay, this makes sense. I don't understand who this is. Like hold on, give me a second, guys. Who the fuck is this? I had to peek. It almost flipped. Who is this? What is this? For some, it would be I get the distinct feeling what they're trying to say for this particular one is there's a group of you that there's been a very distinct barrier between you and a person. I want to say love, like a connection, a true, genuine connection. There's been a distinct barrier. This gives me the feeling of like someone who's like, I know there's someone for me. Why haven't I found them? Like, this is someone who can tell it's a part of their life path that there is a specific connection that's meant to happen, and they've never found it. And it's almost a little bit like hoops you've had to jump through, or things that you've had to do. And you're like, if this is, like, why do I feel like this is so true for me if it's never come to pass, if it's not really become a part of reality? And then getting to the last step and being like, I'm done with this dumb shit. Like, I'm not walking through any fucking thing. I'm not going to, like, why does that even matter? Like, I've done so much before. Now, I'm definitely one who says, I believe in destined meetings, destined contracts, but I also know that things can change, right? Because two energies have to uphold the contract. It's not just one. And there's certain things that I know that have to happen in existence, and that spirit is spirit led, but a lot of the stuff is not, right? And so it's one of those things where this feels like I get the energy and feeling someone knowing or feeling for a very long time that they're meant to encounter a particular soul or a connection. And it may just be a type of energy of connection, right? Maybe not be a particular person attached to the type of connection, but they're meant to experience a type of connection. They have yet to do that in this lifetime. And so there's been like an evolution, right? Of in their life, and they hit that teenage space where it's like, I'm about to enter this tower moment, the brand new phase of life, like a totally different life from what I've been experiencing. And like, there's this last little whatever that you've got to get through, that seems so insignificant and stupid to do, that you're like, this is so stupid. Like, you may have almost given up on the idea or notion of, like, I don't even give a shit if I encounter this type of a connection. Fuck it. Like, keep it to yourself, spirit. I don't care. Because we have the burdens card, the cross, the male with the Ace of Hearts, and then the path. Like, there's been a burden on the path to this person between you and this type of a connection you're meant to experience. Even if it's not a particular person. And maybe there is a very particular person that you get to have like this experience with, and they are like meant to be, hold on one second, like they're meant to trigger you. We encounter people who awaken certain aspects of ourself, right? Like, triggers are not just things that we like places. It's people too. People act as, sometimes they come in our life and leave our life, but they were meant to come in to help trigger something, awaken something, pivot us, whatever it is, right? And so that's why it's felt like this idea or this ideal or this fairy tale something, this fourth cup coming from the sky, and they're like, all you got to do it. And it's like, why? Fucking why? Like, I don't want what's in front of me, but you can keep the fucking cup as well. You can keep the fucking cup as well, because I just don't want it. And you've literally manifested and created a sense of independence in your life. You've taken action to get out of this repetitive, codependent devil energy, this illusion, and you've had to walk through this period of pause, Four of Swords, along with the Seven of Pentacles, feeling like it was unsuccessful and being like, whatever. And then the new beginning comes up. So for some of you, that's exactly what it is. Okay? And I'm clarifying, and the cards that come out really are like, I wanted to clarify, honestly, the masculine. I was like, what is this? What is this? And somehow, it's almost like seeing it like this, because the ship card came out, right, for that, which is all about making the progress, almost having the winds of change coming into your sails and pushing you into a new trajectory, a new path, going from one harbor to the next. It can also be about small businesses, e-commerce, that kind of stuff, right? But for this, it's almost like going from, it's like movement onto the path, like clearing the blockage or the burden that you had to carry, so that, and it creates movement on your path, creates a totally new path. I'm like, how is that? How does the ship card, how does that final movement? And it's like they're saying, hey, whatever blocked you from this type of connection with a person before, or experiencing this kind of a connection before, maybe a very integral one, like experiencing a connection that has a level of integrity you've never experienced before, right? And it's literally like the search for something more meaningful. And so what comes out to describe that? We've got the Tower card, which is all about isolation, being alone, singular. It's a very independent Nine of Pentacles energy, being cut out, like this sense of isolation, which would be the Four of Swords, which would be the feeling of the Seven of Pentacles, like, oh, I fucked up, I was unsuccessful. Is that waiting period, right, before something pops off? You're like, well, shit, I didn't get it right, obviously, because nothing's coming through. And it's like the sense of like this isolation is ending, this sense of being alone. And with that, so that's being cut out for love to emerge and finding new horizons. This is like pulling up anchor where you've been stuck to go to new harbors. This is becoming unstuck and being able to get the block to this type of connection. But I also get the sense for some that it's not all love, because I get material gain. I get this level of freedom and independence that comes up. Because between the Nine of Pentacles, it's like, I've been waiting, I've been trying to manifest this, I've been trying to make it come out, and then poof, suddenly it does. Nine of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. You walk through the door. Your efforts, the magician, start to see actual fucking evidence. Completely new phase. So I want to know about that. Let's talk about that. Give me some information on that. How's everybody holding up? I'm surprised. 5-5 on my thing up here. So massive change. Look at y'all. Like, this energy feels so very calm. I think it's that clean, clear, and free energy. Because I'm not getting too elevated in my emotions. I'm also not like getting frustrated. This is a very peaceful temperance energy. I don't feel like I usually sound like this when I read. I'm usually very animated. I hope I'm not putting people to sleep, because good God. There's a new opportunity for those where this is money. Like you've been making attempts and making attempts and making attempts. Holy moly. And you resided to thinking it just wasn't going to be successful. And we're talking about money, career trajectories, and it's literally like, despite that, you still kept making efforts. You still kept fucking going for it. Like, maybe for you, the resistance, and you're like, why do I got to do this? Was consistently and continuously making attempts at it despite not seeing shit pop off. And you felt like, this is stupid. Why do I got to keep doing this if it's not working? If it's not showing any kind of promise? If it's not doing this, like, why do I got to work so damn hard just to get this? When you know I've done everything else in my life to get myself to this point, I deserve for something to come easy, and it didn't. Like it was that last, oh, I get it. Like the teenager who had to do the like, isn't what I've done up to this point good enough? Why do I got to keep going? Why do I gotta keep doing more? Why do I gotta keep, showing up? And it's literally like the kid who's like, why can't I have the PlayStation now? Why do I gotta go that one little extra effort? Why do I get all A's? Why isn't the grades that I'm getting and the accolades that I get enough to know that I deserve this? Like, why do I have to do this? And it's almost like there's a lesson in that. Because you could, because you have the ability to go that little extra distance, because there's something in it for others. Like, you don't see whatever that energy was, where what you did, you're like, it doesn't do anything to me. I already know my worth, right? The teenager already is like, I'm already good enough. Why do I got to go that extra mile? But there's something in that will pay off later down in the road, right? And so you're literally just sitting here like, why do I got to prove myself? And you fought it for some time until you finally just did. You just walked through the door. You just did. Like, you may have paused. You may have paused and said, I'm not going to take any more actions. And then just one day you started taking actions again with no real hope, Seven of Pentacles, that anything would actually come from it. You just did. And then lo and behold, it got you out of this, whatever illusion, going that one little extra mile, getting that extra A in order to achieve this. Maybe it doesn't matter that you get all A's, you get perfect grades, right? But you'll walk into this opportunity knowing that you can. And maybe there's a gift in that, in knowing that you can. Could I have lasted that long? Could I have really done it if it was all that difficult? Yeah, you could, because you did. But I also get the sense that there's something in it for someone, like, it benefits a situation or circumstance outside of you more than it does necessarily you. Like, it wasn't something that you needed to know. It's like your parent learning that you don't like they wanted to know. Like, do you think that because things come so, because you're so smart and intelligent that you don't have to work for things? And it's literally like, you're like, no, I know I do. And I know I could have. And I did. And like a level of respect suddenly from your parent, like, damn. It wasn't about handing power over a certain situation or circumstance to somebody else. It was literally like proving something to somebody else. And because it's like the energy of resistance that parents, like, yeah, they just think everything's going to be handed to them because they're so smart, because these other grades come naturally. And when you, like, if you actually ask them to push themselves just a little bit more, they won't do it. So see, they're going to go out in life feeling this way and everything else like that. And it's like, that's not true at all. But that level of doubt being cast on that child by the parent and things like that, like, do you really have to prove something? Like, you didn't need to do it to prove anything to yourself, and you didn't need to do it to prove to spirit. But there's something about, like, stepping up and doing it that parent can't ever sit there and question you again. Like, I not only got those perfect grades, but because of it, I got a scholarship. And there's a level of that parent not being able to take responsibility. Like, they'll never be able to come back and say, well, you have all of this because I paid for you to go to school and I did this and all this other, like, they got nothing to hold over you. Ooh, this reminds me of old reading. Ooh. Like, there's just, like, I'm getting the sense of a teenager who is so resistant. Like, why do I gotta fucking do that? You wanna know why? Because it benefits you and it benefits them. And guess what? That level of energetic resistance, that thing that they were gonna hold over you for a really long time. Let's say it's not a PlayStation, whatever it is. That was just the easy go-to for me for an example, right? What if they were like, you know what? Like, I'll only pay for you to go to school if you get perfect grades. And like, like there's a sense of leverage or something. And lo and behold, and you're like, why do I got to prove myself to you and anybody else? And I know I'm really good. Da, 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 da. And it's like, it would never been their real achievement, but they would have always acted like it was. You know those parents. You know them. And so by not only did you prove them wrong, now you don't fucking need them. You paid for school by yourself. It's like killing two birds with one stone. That's not it doesn't sound like a very good analogy. That sounds really bad, but whatever, because I love birds. Something doesn't hold power over you anymore. Okay. And so this brings in a new opportunity. Because not only now, because you have the straight A's or the perfect grades, do you have that scholarship that will pay for everything. Oh, you have the pick of the litter. And don't get me wrong. There are parents out there that would still want to sit there and be like, it's only because I pushed them and, sure, whatever. They can never take credit for it, though. Because the level of freedom you have from their influence is all you fucking needed. That was the seas parting. And again, this is an analogy, right? There's so many scenarios and ways that this can play out in your life. But there's something where it's like like someone can't take credit for what you do, and by you taking that last ditch effort and really sticking it out despite the appearance, like continuing to take action and move forward and work towards something despite there being no evidence of success and nothing coming through, that got you to this place. It got you to this place, to this new beginning, to this new opportunity. Like, this is the key. You overcame the obstacle. You may not recognize how many. By continuing to take the action and work towards this manifestation and not stopping, even when you push pause on the button, you don't realize how many obstacles you've eliminated or how many resistant energies that would show up later down the line aren't going to show up now because you did this. Ooh. This wasn't just helping you in the moment. This was clearing the path. Okay. Clearing the path of future obstacles, resistant energies, interference. Okay. Do you not want to take this cup now? Because you had to work so hard that it doesn't seem like it. Did it take the joy out of it? Because why suddenly now because the idea of this is that you're not trusting it now. You feel like it's reckless. Whatever you've been working towards, you now suddenly are worried that it's a reckless thing, that you shouldn't go down that path, that you shouldn't indulge, that you shouldn't go that trajectory. Even though you really want to, you really do. Why are you holding yourself back? Why are you suddenly not trusting it? Why, when you've triumphed over the adversity, like what is is it because you're just angry at the fact, like a teenager, that you were forced to do more than you felt like you had to? And so that shiny thing doesn't seem so shiny anymore, even though deep in your soul you really like it. But like, it's kind of like when you're in a relationship with somebody and they test you and you're like, if you have to test me, Why would I want anything that you've got? Like, like, who the fuck are you to test me? Who the fuck are you to do that? Like I've got to prove something to you? I shouldn't have to prove anything. And Spirit's like, we didn't do that for you to, like, could you imagine? Like, the person that gets, like, the teenager that gets the straight A's, and out of spite, because somehow they felt like what they had to do was to prove something, their worth to somebody. They don't want it now. Fuck you. Keep that. I'm not even going to go to college. And it's almost like I knew I could do it. I shouldn't have had to do that. Oh, that's where we're going. You feel like Spirit made you have to prove something, and you're like, and you're pissed. It's created like, it no longer has its luster. And Spirit's like, that's not what we were doing. We weren't making you prove anything. What you did cleared your path. And you may not be able to see it yet. But you will later on down the road. Like, you didn't just take care of the resistant energy now. It's almost as if, like, with the parting of the seas, right? Because if you took a boat across it, yes, I can get you from point A to point B, but a lot of shit could happen on that journey across to the other side. Your boat could capsize. You could come under attack by another boat. But we've just, like, whatever this is, it parted the seas. So it's a completely clear path. And you're sitting here feeling like, why the fuck did I have to prove shit to you? Why wasn't what I did before enough? Like, why did I have to keep taking action over and over and over again when all I did before should have been enough? Why did I have to endure such a dry season of no success? And they're like, it wasn't for us. We didn't need you to prove anything to us. What you don't see is that cleared your path. So you're resistant to taking this cup that comes in and indulging in this success. Because it's also, I feel like it's like a fuck you. I don't want it now. But you do. You've always wanted this. Why should I trust you, Spirit? It seems kind of reckless to trust this now. I didn't have to prove anything to get this. I was worthy of it before. So you're hesitant. Careful to throw away something that you worked so hard to achieve. Because that could also be the energy of this card. Careful. That might be a very reckless thing to do. Do you really want to walk away because you're pissed at Spirit or whoever, because you feel like they wanted you to prove something and you didn't feel like you needed to prove shit? Like, it was unnecessary for it to be that fucking difficult to get here. And they're like, please don't do this. Toss that shit aside and just indulge and revel in the success that you're going to have, that you're having. Because whatever this obstacle is, or not obstacle, whatever this new opportunity is, catapults you over any other obstacles, any other mountains. Because here's the thing, it's rare when there's just one mountain. It's usually a mountain range. So should Spirit have helped you get over one mountain and then said, go for it? Or what? Or should they have helped you to to scale over the entire mountain range, right? Because it's almost as if you could have sooner, but then there would just have been another mountain and then another mountain and then another mountain and then another mountain. They just cleared your path. They gave you a fucking plane, bitch, right over top of this shit. It's like, fuck yes. First off, we've got the bouquet card where it's like the level of influence of positive energy that's going to be existing in this now is amazing. Then we have the feminine energy. I feel like that is where your freedom will be. It's almost as if the limitations that were in place felt very like you were like stuck in your masculine, trying, taking action, trying, and there were so many. There was like this limitation that was around you. That it never gave your feminine a chance to create again. It felt very stifled. Because if you feel like every idea and everything you attempt, your inner feminine may feel like, gosh, am I doing such a shitty job of creating? I can't find a way out of this. So if you felt unmotivated, a lack of desire, a lack of passion for something, it might be because of that. And it might be the reason you kept taking a pause after a pause. You kept refusing the cup. You were just, oh my gosh, because she felt so stifled. But if you feel like you operate primarily out of feminine energy or that you're in your feminine energy right now, a lot of success. We've got the bees card again. This has been coming up a lot. The level of luck that comes through and positive movement, forward movement, positive, lucky opportunities, encounters, synchronicities. Like a lot of luck and success in making moves in this new beginning, in this new phase. Like there's supposed to be one more over here. So it's funny we were talking about your feminine aspect and your masculine trying to take action and stuff, because we've got both the feminine and the masculine right here. But between the two of them, okay, was the level of success, freedom and movement and beginning, new beginnings. This is literally like giving birth to something very beautiful and lucky, and the level of cunningness and knowingness on how to take action. Like I feel like there's just a level of you know, that's the energy transpiring between the two. But also like if this is between like a feminine and a masculine, like the polar opposites, that soul connection or that type of connection you're meant to be able to experience in life, like the energies at play are exceptionally positive right now between, and the path going towards, like foxes are exceptionally cunning and understanding and smart, and they maneuver right. They're very playful. and very delightful. Like a fox's laugh is hilarious. There's also an energy of family. Like this is literally like the path now between the two of you, because whatever was between, if this is a love situation or wanting to experience a connection, whatever was between the two of you, it's like if spirit had just let you go for it earlier on, you would have only gotten past one of the mountains. There were going to be other mountains between the two of you, other obstacles that were going to present themselves, and they're like, we helped, like doing this and you having to consistently take action. There were so many obstacles that was taken apart, and we know that we hear things about when you come into alignment with something that's very integral, like when you finally get the right relationship, it can trigger other things to come up that you didn't experience before. And I don't feel like this is going to happen when this connection comes together. Those triggers are not going to bring up things for you all to work through. Like it's a normal relationship. You just, in any relationship, you learn how to build your lives around or involving one another, right? It's a whole new way of living. When you know, like your old life of that solitary energy and being alone and not making any progress or not having the type of connections you want, it's like the experience you have with this person is different than anything you've ever experienced before. It's like a totally different world, totally different life that you're going to experience, because you're going to experience things through a different lens. And so whatever brings it to, it's like the level of luck and success and benefit that this relationship has, the new, what it gives birth to in your life, and the childlike fun and energy and maneuverability is what I want to say. Because if you're that cunning and you're that smart, you know how to make these moves. It's like you're going to know whoever this feminine is. It's like being fed one step after another of how to get from this to this person. It's bridging that gap between the two. It's building a bridge over all these fucking obstacles that would have been in place for the two of you to come together. Whatever this pause was, whatever you felt like you had to prove, no, it eliminated that. A bridge was built between the two of you. Do you know how, like, when something comes so fucking easy, it's like you just know how. You follow your instincts. I get a sense of a level of synchronicities that will happen, bringing the two of you together. And it's going to feel like it was so easy. Like you just followed your instinct. You went after it. Like, you just kept following the not even breadcrumbs. It's just like instinct after instinct. Like you know what to do. Like it's like knowing what to do to get to this person. But in a sense of following the synchronistic events, one after the other, until you come in contact. That's what it is, guys. This is pretty amazing stuff. This was a really in-depth, long reading. I'm not so certain that I need to go any further on that. Hope it made sense. I hope that made sense, guys. Any feedback? I feel like I want to pull from the Kipper deck, and I don't know why, because I feel like that was really like, oh, just know that whether it's a creative endeavor, a project, financial independence, like this idea that you had to keep taking actions despite seeing nothing, and you feel like, why did I have to fucking prove anything? It wasn't to prove anything. Spirit was not making you do that to prove anything. You've always been worthy. They knew that you were, but you asked for an easy transition. You asked for an easy path. You asked for the path to be cleared. Like you got to a point where you're like, I cannot endure another thing that stops me from getting to end. So that they said, bet. Okay. Okay, I'm going to find out what is calling me on this deck because I have no clue. I've got no questions now. And I got tingles all over my crown. So, okay. And then we'll call it quits for the day. Even if it was just like, you're like, okay, I'm still waiting, you probably still felt like it was unnecessary. Like the wait was just unnecessary because there was also that energy of like, this is unnecessary. Why is it gotta be like this? Why can't it just come now? And so that was still, still at play. Like you don't see the point of it. And they're telling you, well, the point was this. Okay, what does this deck want to... Okay, so like I've got the adjudication card. We're getting some sense of finality with this because and rather than just being like a judgment, like somebody has made a judgment over you, it's like when you have this, okay, something's resolved. The adjudication card is all about resolution to something. A judge on a case in court is the one that gets to rule over something. People might be arguing a certain point and trying to, and so like a final decision is made. There's a sense of finality brought to something. And then we have the sudden wealth card, which they're bringing me to the number 11. And then we have the house card, which feels like a finality has happened in regards to one's stability. It's just one stability because sudden wealth, I'm getting both monetary, but the sense of suddenness with this. Okay, I get it. Okay. So this finality too is it's like is it, isn't it? Is it, isn't it? Is it, isn't it? Yes, no, maybe, maybe not, maybe not. And there's a sense of yes. There's a finality to something coming in, to stability being achieved. Whereas before it felt like a back and forth. This may be for a feminine energy. We have a lot of feminine energies coming through right now. Or it could just be the energy you're sitting in because you're trying to create something in your life, right? So you're really in this like, whatever it is. We got poverty, and then we have the courthouse card. And the courthouse card is like the negotiations, the back and forths, the is this going to be a permanent state or is it not? It's weighing up the pros and cons. It's trying to figure things out. It's that process before the finality, right? Like maybe feeling back and forth, like, will I ever be able to get out of this? Will I ever be able to be successful? Will I ever, like, or is life going to continue to be like this? Like, is this dream a potential? Is this really something that can happen? It's like you may have waffled and wavered on it. That's what the courthouse card is. It is that sense of like, trying to understand, like it's the pros and cons list, it's the maybe, it's the negotiating, it's the mediating between something, right? And so it's almost like, will I or will I not be able to get out of poverty? Will I really, maybe trying to figure out the ways to get out of it, like is this even remotely achievable? The courthouse card gives me the sense of feeling like somebody was very not, like life felt very unpredictable and uncertain. That's what I want to say. The courthouse card feels like uncertainty, but there is a level of finality that comes to this uncertainty. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to get out of this. I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know. And there's like a finality to it. There is a sudden influx of stability. Okay. I'm not sure why this is important or why. If it's meant to come out, it'll come out. If for those where it's love, it's like, because the house card can be about familiarity, right? Things that feel like home. And maybe you were unconvinced and uncertain that you'd ever get out of this isolation. And some finality comes to finding home. It's like suddenly you find home. Because we have the thief card, and then the courtship, which is all about, like, it seems like every time you felt like that energy was close or the opportunity was close to make that connection, like you could feel it coming in, something stepped in and paused it, stopped it, interfered with it, right? And it felt like it kept being taken from you. Because with the courtship card, this is all about like new contacts, new people, chance encounters, coming across someone's path, meeting someone new, that kind of thing. And it's like something always stepped in between. Somebody always stole that opportunity. Something always kept taking that away, even though you felt like it was really close and really near. I'm trying not to let my human brain do gymnastics to try to relate it to what was before. Like, you spend a lot of time thinking about this, mulling over it, trying to figure it out. Like, I don't understand. How can I feel like something is so close right here, almost as if I'm already in the energy, and it just never happens? Like, why does it feel like it's something that's meant to happen in my life? Even if you're talking about like a career path or a desire or a passion or whatever else it is, it's like, how can it feel so right? And feeling like, I guess it's just not ever going to really actually happen. Is it ever going to come to fruition? Like trying to, and it's something that felt very destined, because in this particular deck, like what's written, it's destined, like this, or like registering to fate. You've mulled over this so many times. I don't get it. I don't understand what's keeping me from this. Okay. Are we just going to rehash? You felt left the fuck out. God, like this is anguish. Moments of complete despair and anguish, being left out. So there's a level of finality that's going to come suddenly. Finding what was for you all along. Oh, I love this combination. I've never had this come through with these cards like this. Holy shit. So the official person is the card of you not being in control. It is like there's somebody else or something else that has the authority over this situation, right? And it's like official can be it's happening no matter what kind of thing. It can also be like the person that has the authority to make something happen, but it's usually a situation. They describe it in the book where it's like a situation where what happens it isn't really within your control necessarily. Like you feel like you're not in control of that situation. Like there's an external factor that's in control of it. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter. It's that feeling. And then we've got the death card, which or the coffin, which is an end to something. So it's literally like feeling there's like an end to not feeling like you have any control in this situation or any say. It's the end to feeling like something else is in control of this situation. I love that shit. Okay, I feel like that was me. I'm not going to take those if it was meant to. Wow. Okay. The numbers, I want you to pay attention to the numbers because these are fucking good ass numbers. Oh my God. At first, I think there's a level of permanency with this, what's coming in. You have definitely been concerned, and this echoes maybe a concern when it comes in, but there's a gift that's arriving, 17. That's a very auspicious number. That is, first off, if you can, 1 and 7s are very spiritually bound. But also, 1 and 7 is 8, which is all about abundance. And then we have the concern, which is number 33. And then we have the marriage card, which is all about commitment, contracts, a higher level of connections is also 3. So we have 17 and 333. And I feel like those numbers are going to be significant for somebody here in the recent. I feel like recently these might have been showing up to relay something because they immediately brought me to it. I just feel like saying you don't have to be concerned about something. Like this connection, this commitment, be it with a person, a soul connection, or this contract and next level of commitment is just, it's a gift. It is a gift. It puts you back, it puts you in a place where you feel very in your power. Okay. Did that, I feel like that hit it. I think that hit it. Where are we at? What? Okay, where are we at? What accuracy of which statement? What did I fucking say? Oh, I missed out on a whole damn conversation. Okay. All right. So let me catch up on what the fuck y'all be saying. Sorry, guys. I'd always ask Spirit, what more do I need to do? Do I need to be perfect? Oh, I feel that one. Hi, Shanu girl. I fuck up names all the time because of my limited linguistics. I'm just going to tell you right now. So always an apology in advance. And it's been a few years already, so it was not a smooth sail. At Peter, I feel the same at times. I wanted to know when will. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is a collective read. Sorry about that. At times, the anger is targeted internally, feeling like you're not good enough. Yes. True. It's been tough. Not so much anger, but to a point you just give up and don't do anything. David, that's where I have been. And it was anger. So much anger that I stopped taking actions. So much uncertainty. I'm just done. Don't care what happens anymore. kind of energy. I hear you, my brother. The feeling is valid. This hasn't been easy. Calmer waters are coming. Manishka says the love department's even worse. Actually, both love and career, but yeah. More like a cliff with no brakes. Too much targeting, rejection, abandonment by parents does it to a child. Absolutely left out in the cold. Same here. So tired of dealing with both. Well, mostly just job money wise. Being single for so long, not sure I know how to act in a relationship. That's me, David. Holy shit. The accuracy of that statement is scary. Okay, so Manishka said, yeah. Cosmic's been seeing 1717 on her phone. I have always felt hopeless, like ball is always in someone else's court in terms of relationships. Maybe we never lost our power, but just wasting time, energy for the timing again. Maybe we had inner child wounds that were creating the simulation for us. I'm just listening to the fucking conversation, y'all. I'm along for the fucking ride. I love the fact that y'all are processing with each other. Jesus, this is amazing. And it could be true also. I've lost so much, no contact with family over the last couple of years, but I feel like the growth I've had in the last couple of years might have taken me decades under different circumstances. Boom! Exactly. All right, guys, that was a lot. That was really good. I hope it was really beneficial for you. I'm going to hop off because I've taken up the space for 2 hours now. Okay. Alrighty. I will definitely be trying to hop on a couple of times this week, so we can just keep going, and we'll see what happens. We'll keep checking in and seeing what we're all seeing, like see what we're seeing. We'll check in and see how it's going for everyone. You're welcome, Cosmic. I'm trying to see this process as the healing upgrade that I needed so I can be a better me, a better friend, partner, dad. Yeah. David, I've already sent you your reading. Have you not watched it? I sent it like last week. I sent it to your email address, the link to your email address. Just me, I'm about to hop off right now. I'm just checking in with somebody who purchased. Yes, I sent it. Let me get my phone. Let me tell you really quick. I won't say anything personal, identifying. I thought it was weird that you didn't say anything to me about it, but I was like, maybe he's like not liking what came through. I'm just gonna make sure it went through first. Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to. I'm gonna let you know. You've got to, how? I hit reply. This doesn't have any identifying information on it. Take a look at this shit. You see this? It's in my drafts. I swear to God. I swear to. It was on. No, that was last year. No, that's not the one. So, okay. Let me figure this out. I'll get back to you. Let me go to sent. Let me look at this because I did it like last week on Tuesday and sent it on the 31st. On the 31st. I'll reach out to you, dude. I don't know what happened. I hit reply on your email, on the booking email. That's what I usually do, and I send the link. So let me figure out what happened, but I'll reach out to you here shortly, okay? Keep a lookout. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for joining, guys.